We therefore ask with heavy hearts, are we now reversing everything we bled for through these amendments? We are returning to the era of Ian Smith, when only a privileged elite, the Zviganandas as we called them, the likes of Mazaiwana, Gumede, and others, had the right to participate in governance. Zvigananda have since resurfaced. Sarabina mashuka pangwa inoti kondinya again, let this document aiwarosubmitwa aiwakumount hambit pamusoro pemaconstitutional amendments achistopia honorable subscribe or like on the bell icon tiendera mirombo nenevamchinzi. Under that shameful system, only Africans of means were permitted to vote. The majority were told, in effect, that their lives did not matter, that their voices were irrelevant. We took up arms to destroy that system. We will not stand by and watch it be quietly rebuilt under a different flag. Today, we are being told only a select few, in the persons of members of parliament, will choose a leader on behalf of 70 million Zimbabweans. This is totally unacceptable. In the year 2002, through the late General Vitalis Zvanashe, a soldier of immense honor, we as senior commanders made our position clear to the nation. We declared that the leadership of Zimbabwe must fit into straitjacket of principle. The party does not reshape itself around the appetites of its leaders. Leaders reshape themselves around the values of the party and the will of the people. Today we watch the sorrow is Zvigananda attempts to invent this entirely by bending the nation's foundational law to serve their own ambition and protect their own interests. This is the very corruption of purpose that we warned against. The liberation struggle rested on two fundamental pillars: land and the universal adult suffrage. To vote, that is one man, one vote. These were not negotiable then, and they must not be negotiable now. We did not fight for a Zimbabwe where the majority are spectators of their own country's affairs. We fought so that every Zimbabwean, regardless of wealth, status, or political affiliation, would have an equal and inviolable voice. In the year 2000, we as ZANU-PF championed a constitution. At the time, Parliament did what was true and correct by referring the constitutional proposals to the people through a referendum. The result was people rejected our proposal and accepted the outcome, thus respecting the will of the people. In 2012, Zimbabweans voted for their constitution. They spoke clearly, deliberately, and with dignity during the tenure of a government formed by the Global Political Agreement. In Section 212 of the Constitution, the people of Zimbabwe themselves charged the Zimbabwe Defense Forces with a duty to uphold and defend the Constitution. That was not our idea alone, it was the expressed will of the nation. Now, men and women who did not enjoy a single night in the bush, who never buried a comrade, who did not witness what we witnessed, these individuals seek to strip away the constitutional mandate without so much as consulting the people. They seek to do this quietly, without a referendum, without the people's voice being heard. We frown upon this. The President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency Comrade Mnangagwa, has said himself he is a constitutionalist. He respects the will of the people, and he has said on numerous occasions, the voice of the people is the voice of God. And yet, we see brazen disobedience by ambitious opportunists today, attempting to undo the will of the people. We will defend our president's position. He is our leader, and so should members of parliament. Do patashika pangwa ino mre Zimbabwe. As we are continuing our need this letter yonyorerwa Zvigananda vachinzi mirai zvamunoda kuita izvi, hamuna karaumborwa kana anything war kana kumbobata kana pfuti zvayo makuda kuya muchichinja the will of the people. Tichikontinue at the next video this dossier. Don't forget to subscribe or like out on the bell icon.